This is a moment that we're pretty familiar with at this point. We got the record being mixed, it's almost done. Today we're here at Urban Plaza because we're talking about live music and talking about getting out there and playing again. The night before our second record came out.
Second record.
Yeah, we played here.
I miss it so much.
It was so great.
I never had more fun touring in this band than I did back then.
And traveling all over the country, yeah.
Living in that van.
Living in that van.
And sometimes it just dawns on me, like, we didn't have GPS.
No.
Oh, that's true.
Like, we toured with maps.
We had maps.
Yeah. Some of those first record songs, in a way, I mean, they're like their own entities to us. You know, like these songs mean something more to us because they were like this thing that kind of moved us into an area. And we hear them differently as we got older.
We've had such an interesting career because, I mean, the reality of it is we haven't made a record in 11 years. Like, our first record was in 96, North was in 2012, and now here we're in 2023.
Right.
So, like, I'm 11 years older than when we made North. And so
It's 11 years of influence.
It's 11 years of influence. I'm a father. I've raised a kid. Like, I'm married. Like,
You have a kid?
I do. You should meet.
We were gonna tour in 2020 and we were gonna maybe put out a single and like, you know, guys, I'm so sorry. Like the world is going crazy.
But honestly, I mean, as much as that was, as hard as that was, and as disappointing as that was, we would not have probably made this record.
Now we have a new record.
We now have a new record
Yeah,
because
to
of it.
promote.
So something good came out of it. It's something that wasn't planned, that wasn't necessarily going to happen.
Maybe the most remarkable thing about this album for us is the sort of like piecing of the puzzle together in a way that we've never done. You know, it's always been us in a room. I mean, that's just been the precedent in making an album. So we were discovering that, you know, and I think it's done something interesting for the process.
Oh, it definitely made the sound evolve in a different way, and I think there were definitely challenges. I actually kind of like the idea as we get as I get older, of just like I don't want to keep doing the same thing every time. I don't want to always. I want to, get out of your comfort zone.
I think we've always been like conscious of not repeating ourselves when we make music, but also with respect to simplicity. We like a melody that you can sing and concept you can grasp onto easily, but at the same time, recognizing maybe when we are running over the same ground. I think like topically too, as a writer, and it's like I'm more interested in things that aren't just obsessed with loving relationships, because I see the world through a much broader perspective as a father.
That changes you more than anything. Your priorities are so different. The kind of person you want to be is so different. I mean, you grow up because you have to.
You start thinking about your own mortality, you start thinking about your own life, you start thinking about your own responsibilities. I find that I still write about relationships, but I find that they're not, like you said, they're not about romantic relationships. And they're also no longer like unrealistic grand versions of what love is supposed to be.
They're more realistic.
More realistic ideas. There's a song called Queen of New York City that's on there that was certainly brought about by, a lot of stuff that my wife's been going through. And for me, it's this idea of seeing someone who's struggling on one end, but then every minute that they feel strong, running with that strength and being as strong as they can and just kind of like trying to defy the day before because they feel better on this day,
And
I think they're subtly in there.
Unanimously, we almost all felt like this is one of the best choruses we've heard from Rob in a long time. I mean, it's a really, really wonderful chorus.
Our biggest secret weapon is his voice. And so, like, if you took his voice off of Bent, off of Disease, off of 3 AM, off of Bright Lights, like, those are totally different bands. But his voice, especially now that we're older and we've been around a long time, as soon as you put his voice on it, no matter what we do, it's Matchbox 20.
Recently, we pulled it together for our first show in years in Newfoundland. It was a festival and 20,000 people, and it felt great.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt good to play. I mean, there was that community that we were a part of, that we were a big part of, and it was a big part of our life.
The feeling of walking on that stage, and you can have that kind of nervousness of like, oh my God, I don't know if I remember how to do this. And then as soon as you get up there, you're like, it feels that like you're living it. You're like, oh yeah, this is what this is what we do. Yeah.
We were eyes wide open when the world got dark.
This kind of feels like we're making good on a promise that we made years ago. that now we finally get to do.
You know, we have to sort of figure out like how we're going to incorporate that record without sort of disappointing people who wanted to come see the tour we were going to do in 2020, which was just here's all the songs that you already know.
So we're just going to play the whole new record twice.
The whole new record twice.
Just like the first record.
No-brainer.
We just want to put like positive stuff in the world.
We've kind of always realized that we're in the service industry, in the hospitality industry. There's always a sense of that what we do. Like we're there to give somebody a great night.
I think we all kind of feel excited. I feel kind of nervous. I mean, we haven't made new music in a long time, but at the same time, I also feel like we've spent so much of our adult lives doing this that even though there's been a lot of time in between, it does feel like normal.
And now, 20-something years later, I am just as like I get on a stage and it feels like my living room. When we were younger, anything that now might give me fear, now just gives me anticipation. You know, now I have so much that I'm looking forward to about this process, and very little that I'm nervous or scared or daunted by. Oh, this is gonna be good. I can't wait for people to hear this, and I can't wait to go play it.
Hell, wild dogs running in a slow